No. So we're just gonna record some silence.
Ready to start?
Pardon?
We're ready to start.
You ready to start?
So, yeah, we just wanted to thank you for coming out here.
Okay, start.
We just wanted to thank you first for coming out and agreeing to do this with us. Like, it's good. It's really helpful to just collect stories of residents within the area and see their outlooks on just like what matters to them. And we see that you're really crucial to the neighborhood. Like, sitting out there, people know you. Yeah.
So thank you for taking your time out this rainy morning. My name is Gatson. This is Milan.
Pleasure.
Pleasure is all ours. Can you please start by stating your name and your profession?
My name is Charles Carmickle. My profession, enjoying life. Okay, I'm a retiree that enjoying life.
Okay.
But before I was a retiree, I was still enjoying life. It just got the retiree on the part of it. I got to that point in life of enjoying it that I could become a retiree. So I'm a retiree that's enjoying life, but I'm still enjoying life.
Good. What were you doing before you were a retiree?
That's a good question. Sometimes I ask myself that same question. What was I doing? Well, I'm a 40s baby, so I had the opportunity to be raised in the South. So I got to see a lot of things that you read about in history books. I got to live. So even though it seemed something different, but it was enjoyable to the point it taught me how to handle people. It taught me how to read people, because at that point in time you needed that entity to survive. Still needed to survive today, but it seemed like that entity is slowly drifting away. How to analyze, materialize, and realize how to deal with people.
So what part of the South did you grow up in?
Well, what part of the South did I grow up in? That's an interesting statement, especially for me, for coming to me. Okay, what part of the South do you consider the South? And where does the South begin and ends? I have no idea. Now, I guess I would be, for some of the people of the South, they consider me a Northerner. So then, if they consider me a Northerner and they're a Southerner, then I'm not in the South, I guess. But that's what they consider. So what part of the South am I from? I'm from the northern part of Louisiana. New Orleans is the southern part, and they consider us Northerners, so I guess I'd be the northern part of Louisiana. Yeah. But it's still, compared to Illinois, it's south, not north. Where does the relative begins and where does the relative ends? It's relative.
So What caused you to move up here to Wisconsin?
My heart. I came up here because of my heart. And when she left me, I had already bought a house, so I guess I stayed. But my heart's still my best friend, so she didn't leave. We just had a different road that we traveled, but it was one road that we traveled together that got me into Wisconsin. Otherwise, you cheesehead could have kept this state for yourself. I had no need of Wisconsin, had no plan of coming up to Wisconsin. I had no idea of really do not appreciate eating cheese, you know, unless it's custom blue cheese or something of that nature. But outside of that, you guys talk cheddar. Cheddar cheese okay, but yeah, maybe because you got a lot of Spanish, so you have cheddar cheese, so you can make all the cheddar cheese dishes. You know, if it had been English, you would probably have blue cheese, you know, which is more elegant, more age, more finesse, you know. But no, you're cheesehead, but that's okay. I used to be a fib, so what's the difference?
So nothing else drew you to this part of Wisconsin and your heart?
Just my heart. When she left, I'm still here, you know. That's the only reason I came to Wisconsin. Outside of that, I used to go to Lake Geneva. You know, just so they could take my money and I could say I went to Lake Geneva and get to play with all the upsy-tutsy people who think their shit don't stink. But that's okay. They think they're hot on silver platter, they're cold on paper plates. But that's all right. Well, yeah, I used to come up there. I used to do bands up and I did bands in Wisconsin for the festival. So I would come up there. I would come up here for the festival, you know, to make a little money. But outside of being in Wisconsin, I was not that interesting to me. But since I've been here, it is a very interesting state. See, you guys, they hide behind cheese because people don't want to talk about anything. So you're known for the cheese heads, and you see them all on TV with this wedge of cheese on top of their head at any damn game. I'm glad it's not a bunch of brothers that's wearing them cheese heads, you know. But I guess cheese is made from milk, so what can I say, you know? But Wisconsin has a very deep history of history. It's one of the, basically one of the motivated states in the whole United States to set the pace. That's why you're being destroyed so bad today. Because Wisconsin was way ahead of black liberty and freedom than any other place in the United States. You could get an education here. Actually, it was about the first place that a slave asked for his freedom in court and won his freedom in court. It's Wisconsin. And that was before slavery was even allowed, quote and unquote, to be dissipated, which it was actually was not dissipated. It was manipulated because slavery turned into the company store. It turned into chain gangs. They did the same thing, enslaved a man, put him to work, made the money, did what they needed to do to enrich their pockets. But Wisconsin was in favor of we, the people. Now it's I, as Governor Walker would say. Anyway, go ahead.
So how long have you lived in Milwaukee?
I'm a newcomer. I've only been here for about 3 years. You know, so it's been enlightening. When I first got here, it seemed like I was among the walking dead. So many people walk down the street and look like their souls are gone. You know, and the deeper impression hit me as there were so many. Not just one, not just two, not just a fruit. So many. They look like they've given up on life. And they probably have in some sense. You know, but I don't know what to say because Milwaukee is the first city that I have ever lived in. I'm a suburbanite. You know, even when I lived in Louisiana, I was a suburbanite. But back then they used to call us country. You know, but we evolved into becoming suburbanites. Now everybody wants to become suburbanite. In actual reality, they want to become country. In actual reality, they was country before they were city. In actual reality. But, yeah.
So when you moved to this part of Milwaukee, you moved to the Washington Park neighborhood?
Yes.
And you've been living here for 3 years, you said?
Yeah, for 3 years. Yeah. Washington Park's all right. It's a very nice neighborhood. Washington Park is underestimated, highly manipulated, and you have so many people out here that feel that they are dedicated to walk through it. But all Washington Park is to a lot of people is money. That's what it all means to them, is money. What program can I make? How much money can I make by putting this program together? That's another thing about Milwaukee. God, it's the first, well, okay, I don't know about the rest of the city, but I have never seen so many nonprofit organizations I have seen in my life as I've seen in Milwaukee. I have not seen, oh my God, every corner has a church. Every corner has a bar. You know, so you can go get drunk. And actually, you can get drunk to the point that you can poison yourself with alcohol and have alcohol poisoning. And all they got to do is pick you up and take you down to the next corner, and they can pray for you and save your soul. That's how Milwaukee is. And as I have talked to some of the people, I can't say about a lot, but who am I? I am not just me, you know, but I ran across a lot of false prophets, it seemed like in my thoughts, in this town. Everybody and their mother, and I mean everybody and their mother, is a preacher. I have met so many preachers in this town. Who pays the taxes? Because they all got their nonprofit organization. Now, if the preachers, because the churches are on every corner, of course, now they got all their backup, you know, all the houses and stuff they have, and all that's tax-free. But yet, the city wants their money. But yet, they tax the people who are trying to survive and making money to give in return for the churches that don't pay money. And then all the organizations that ask for money to give to the people that needs the money, that ends up being their money. And the people who the money was dedicated to end up where they began in the first place, nowhere.
So what's your description of your neighborhood here
Huh?
in Washington Park? How would you describe your neighborhood?
How would I describe my neighborhood?
Here in Washington Park.
Well, when I first came to my neighborhood, I guess I could describe my neighborhood duck and roll. Yeah. Duck the bullets and roll on the ground. Yeah. Yeah. The first time I got robbed in my life in a house was here in Milwaukee. Last year alone, I had 2 vehicles stolen from me. Never had that, like that. I mean, 2 vehicles stolen from me within 1 month period of time. And they just vanished. I mean, vanished. So, it's different. When I come to my neighborhood, there was a lot of drug deals, a lot of motorcycles, a lot of noise. 3 o'clock in the morning, they're bike racing down the street, and they think I never seen a bunch of brothers who thought that they were held angels. Want to ride down the sidewalk, gee, just because you own a bike don't mean that you're a gangster. I mean, come on. It should be that you're economical and want the freedom to enjoy your life, not to terrorize other people with your shenanigans. So we had a bunch of that. And so since I had already in 1964 pledged my allegiance to this country for the Vietnam. Well, when I pledged my allegiance to the country, it's not just for Vietnam. I pledged my allegiance to the country. So they were destroying my country, even though it's just my block. It's still my country. So it's my job to take them on. And so I did. And now my neighbors are taking them on. Because I guess they see that it works. They have made statements that I am a lead role in the neighborhood, and I let them know I'm not a lead role in the neighborhood. The only lead role in the neighborhood is Shorty. That's the only lead role in the neighborhood. And you just got to make sure the neighborhood is cleaned enough for him to lead the way to change. And so we got together. We're getting together. We're still learning. We're still, getting them to accept their neighbors. I have never seen people that really didn't accept their neighbors the way society has become. I had a family move across the street from me, Spanish, and then the gentleman who lived across the street next to me looks at me And he says, a Spanish family has moved into the neighborhood across the street. What you doing in the neighborhood? You know. And I'm looking at him. I said, what do you mean? What is he doing in the neighborhood? They belong on the south side. And I looked at him. And I said, you know what? I remember the time when you wasn't even supposed to be over in this area. I remember a time when you couldn't drink from the front of a building. You had to use black and white water fountains. I remember times when all of you were lazy. Every last one of you was good for nothing, lazy niggas. And now, you haven't learned from that? What others have done to you, you want to impose on somebody else? So you gonna get on the Spanish people's case? I said, excuse me. I ain't hear you hollering about that motorcycle family that lives 2 doors down. They kick up at 3 o'clock in the morning. They have their loud parties. You ain't never said nothing about that. Why? Because they're black. You accept that from them. But this family's coming in, the first thing they've done is start painting up the house, cleaning up the house, making the outside look good. And I said, hey, you want to complain to them about them? You better find out where your priorities are. That Spanish family just brought the property value of your house up. You might not like them, but they done brought your property value up. That black family that you accept and put up with their bullshit is taking your property value down. So it don't matter. He just gave you a couple $1,000. They just took $5. So, you find somebody to complain about, you better be thankful that they're here. They're family orientated. Their kids are nice and polite. And I said, maybe they can teach some of the kids in the neighborhood how to be nice and polite, because their parents are not. He shut up. Now he likes the Spanish family across the street. Because they'll come up, man, they're always working on their house. And I said, yeah, they are. Makes me feel bad. Because now I'm not the #1 person in the neighborhood cleaning up his house. They're outdoing me. And he laughed. You know, he said, yeah, well, they're really putting money in their house. I said, yeah. I said, matter of fact, since they've been working on their house, I noticed you started cleaning up your house. You feel like a little competition coming your way? Oh, no, I was planning on doing it. I said, well, you might have been planning on doing it. You didn't do it until they got in the neighborhood and started cleaning up the house after you was complaining about them. Oh, well, I was just going through a shock, that's good. That's good. But the best part about it is the same people are shoving each other walk in the wintertime. If you don't get up in time quick enough, your sidewalk most likely might be shoveled. Who shoveled it? Who knows? But it's just that funny little feeling in your stomach that you went out there to do this and it's done already, and you're looking at all the houses and all the sidewalks are done, and you're trying to figure out, wow, who hasn't got their sidewalk done? I know they didn't do it, but everybody else's sidewalks is clean. Well, who did it? And it's causing how the sidewalks have been cleaned. Then you can start figuring out who did it, because you look at the shovel marks. And the shovel marks on your sidewalk matches the shovel mark of somebody else's sidewalk that's always doing his sidewalk the same way. And so you always have the shovel mark. Then now you know who shovel mark that did this. Now might be a broom sweep. If it's a broom sweep, it's the Thai people that live down the street. They have broomed off all the snow with the brooms. Okay, it's them, It's just the family across the street. Now, the shovel's got a big notch out of it, and they always leave a streak. I gotta give them a new shovel somewhere along the line. But they leave that streak, and when you see that streak, you know they did it. So it has become somewhat of enjoyment just to figure out who in the heck did my snow. You know, now I got people that cut my front walkway, and the other people's front walkway, I see them do it, and I do it too. I can't say I don't. I guess maybe I was the initiator, you know, because people next door to me, he spends a lot of time with his son, baseball games, and other kids in the St. Vincent Lake, like a coach type deal, you know. So he's always running with the kids, but he has one of the most polite family. I think he would be somewhat of the model of what a family should be, you know. And he's on the run continuously, so I mow his grass, you know. And then as I'm in that mowing mood, I mowed the field next door, just so our neighborhood block would look good. And pick up paper, and now we have everybody picking up paper. We still have people throwing paper down, you know, but that's okay, because then other people are saying, hey, you dropped the paper? Didn't mean, you know, didn't mean that you lost it on purpose. You know, and now they're coming back and picking up. Or I've heard people say, you know, excuse me, try not to throw his merch paper on the ground. Didn't tell him not to throw the paper on the ground. Don't throw his merch on the ground. And the kids are looking at him like, you know, profound statement. It was not a derogatory statement, but an enlightening statement. And they themselves are the one that has to make the change. And they do. I've seen them, you know. So that's what makes neighborhoods, you know, neighbors. And we have got to get back to the point of being neighbors. See, we have been programmed, and people don't believe that they've been programmed, but they have been programmed. You know, you're programmed every day. When you sit in front of that TV, they're programming you. Subliminary messages. They know it worked. They know it worked so good that the law told them to stop doing it. Even their own society said stop. Because whoever controlled the preliminary hearing can control the people. You can make them militant. You can make them depressed. You can make them forgetful. Whatever you want to do, you can program it. And now it is so easy because you got internet and everything else. You know, if you look at the Japanese movies, their programming was, who was it? Godzilla, the moth. Anytime you seen them fighting, they were fighting monsters. And the whole cities all got together to fight this monster who would just demolish in the city, you know, and they're fighting against him. Nobody said anything about it. Okay, yeah, you stole the monster's kid. You know, he got him tied up in an experimental lab, you know. And that's when Gonzalo was going after his son. They had captured his son, the general. But anyway, even Godzilla didn't mess with nobody until you messed with him. Okay? He was cool being underneath the water, just laying there sleeping. You know, he wanted to drop an atomic bomb down there and wake his ass up. Yeah, I'm pissed. You know, yeah, I'll take out the city. You know, I want to find out who in the hell dropped the bomb, okay? I want to talk to him. You just disturb my winter sleep. But the Japanese always got together and fought one common cause. America got together and fought each other. We produced gangsters. They were there already, but we just highlighted them. We highlighted Who would ever have thought about what's that deal about Elm Street, Freddy Krueger? Come on. All you programming people is to kill somebody, to threaten people, to intimidate, to torture. You sure know how to do it. Want to walk along the wall and grab your metal along the wall? I'm coming to get you. Chomp, chomp. And see, once you start programming people that way, people take that seriously, mentally. So now they feel that that's a way of life. Now, if I want to terrorize you, I can run my hand along the wall. How many times did the teacher at the chalkboard take her fingers and go across the chalkboard? Class! That was terrorizing. Mentally. The sound. Psychologically. So, your television, your internet is programming you to hate your fellow man and to hate everything around you. And right now they're programming you to hate your own country. Because it ain't gonna be your country for long. See, people don't realize America is only the people. They call it America. Before they called it America, what did the next group of people used to call it? And when you lose it, what are they gonna call it? Because all they gotta do is eliminate Americans. And once they eliminate Americans, America ceases to exist. Because in general, if we as a human race didn't exist in this realm of things, God wouldn't exist, would he? He only exists because you exist. And when Americans cease to exist, America will not be here. And whoever owns this property can name it whatever they want to name it. You know, and they did say in the book, the basic instruction before leaving Earth, that the world will be ruled under the flag of the dragon. Only one that I know that has the flag of the dragon is China.
Okay, so going off...
Off track. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying, going off of what you were saying with how places like Japan are more cohesive neighborhoods. And so I've heard a lot of things about like the South being, people growing up with the cohesive neighborhoods where kids were taught to speak to the adults and be able to interact with the people in their neighborhoods. Did you get a sense of that when you moved to Milwaukee or to Washington Park?
That people did what?
They interacted with each other and people knew their neighbors. And
when I moved here?
Yeah.
No. Not on my block they didn't. No. The kids will interact because they're kids until the families program them to the point, or the society program them to the point to stop playing with that same kid that you used to play with because his color is not right or his money is not right in his family. That's what I'm talking about. You're programming not to be neighbors. You think they want you as neighbors? Seriously? No. Because then you will be unified. And the unified person is something that's too dangerous for this country to deal with. We already tried to start our neighborhood as the United States, as a neighborhood. Martin Luther King, the first gentleman in this country that united everyone, every race, every creed, every color, every walk of life, to walk in one direction, and that's the direction of peace, respect, and harmony. That's what King was preaching. Needs to say, that's why he don't preach no more. He was a threat to this country, so they eliminated him. Because he was crying harmony, and he was achieving harmony. Matter of fact, he would have been your first black president. He wasn't but 34 years old. And already at 34, had the mass amount of people standing behind him that any other country, only the Romans could do that at the time, pull that many warriors together under one legions. And King did it. Gandhi did it. And the first big promoter there ever was, JC. He did it, So, the government really don't want it, because look at it. I'll feed you with all my food stamps. Make it easier for you. Just sit back, relax, put your heels up, grab a doobie, and just lay back, and I will feed you. I will house you. Sit back, relax, put your feet up, grab a doobie, and I will house you. I will clothe you. All you gotta do is sit back, put your heels up. I really don't want you to smoke that doobie, but okay, because you're becoming too liberal. And in the interim, I can make all the money that I can put in my pocket. So if the government is going to give me $15 million to put into the neighborhood, well, if you're not unified, I don't have to put $400,000 in there. And the rest can go to me and my cronies, because you're not unified. See, if you look at the polls, if your block, you got 15 people on your block that vote, yeah, automatically going to be at your neighborhood anytime, going to be on top of it. You got 2 to 3 people that vote in your neighborhood. They don't want nothing to do with you. You better fend for yourself. You say you got big holes in there, and you got a Volkswagen keeping you from falling down inside of it, ain't my problem. You didn't give me but 3 votes. No use for you. You better throw some dirt on top of that Volkswagen and keep on driving. That's the way they look at it. But if you got 15 votes, well, hell, get that crane over there and then pull that Volkswagen out there and fill that hole up. What do you have my people doing like that? Trying to treat them like that. Oh, yes, I love you dearly. Vote for me the next time around and I'll set you free. And you vote for them, they'll set you free. They'll set you free of your money. It is only you, as the person next door, has got to get over and meet that man next door. Meet that person across the street. Get to know who's around you. And once you get to know them, I guarantee you're going to enjoy them. There's going to be maybe one or so that won't get along with you, who that's the way life is. But she'll show them respect. But you find out that your neighbors really want to know who you are. They really want to enjoy you. You know, my neighbor down from me, my mom, the Bone people. I don't know a word they're saying. I don't know a word they're saying. It's the kids that will fill me in on what they're saying to me. You know, but we have a great rapport. They have some interesting food too. They always invite me over to eat their food. I go over and I eat. I don't know what the heck I'm eating. You know, sometimes I really don't want to know what I'm eating, but when it all boils down, it does taste good. But even though we don't have a major conversation, it's the eye contact, it's the smiles, it's the gestures that makes it. You know, we may not be able to speak. We don't know how to speak to each other. But there's not a day that don't go by that they don't see me at any given point in time, and we acknowledge each other. And it don't make no difference where I'm at, because I ran into them in other places. They would stop to acknowledge me, and I would acknowledge them. You know. And they're my best neighbors too. They're one of my best neighbors, you know. And but in the interim of me getting to know them, then the next door neighbor to them have started speaking to them. And now, in their own way, they gesture back, how you doing? And they'll go sweep their neighborhood, their block too, you know. So you don't have to be able to communicate, because we, just by inner being, know how to communicate with people, but it's been eliminated from our being. You know, when you're born with certain rights, you're born with certain instincts, you're born with certain movement. They're trying to breed that out of you. Like when I said when I was a kid, you were talking about, if I messed up in my neighborhood when I was a kid, that person down there and I messed up at their house, I'm messing up at their house and give me a whooping. And when I got that whipping, I know it hurt, but I'm rolling too, you know. But I know one thing else. When I get home, I'm gonna get a whipping. Because that person had called up my mama and said, yeah, Mrs. Carmickle, your son was up here and I asked him not to be climbing into my trees and getting my figs, and he just kept on doing, and I had to give him a whipping. And then when you got home, you got a whipping because you disrespect your neighbor to the point where they gave you a whipping. They had the right to do that. And since you had to have my neighbor to give you a whooping, you know you're going to get an ass whooping. And you're going to get a worse one from them because you embarrassed them. You know? And I had one of them old school dads. And that's a whole nother story about his ass whoopings. But then they passed a law that you cannot mandate your children. You cannot whoop your children. You know, for some reason, they do not want your children to mind you. They do not want your children to progress. Because they know that any being, no matter what species it is, birds, dogs, human, there's alpha. And they're going to be challenged. Your kids are going to challenge you to see how far they can go and see what they can get away with. And so, they were put in check. You know, maybe there was some abuse, but there's gonna always be abuse. But most whoopings were done for a reason. You know. Although, yeah, it was stimulated from the slavery days, where you beat a person and then get a beating, and they knew to keep their stuff in mind and keep their stuff in line. That's how you used to keep everybody in line, by whooping their ass. You know, and that's why our family whooped ours. They were programmed to do so. You know, I tried to program my son to whip himself. You know, I basically say I never punished my son. My son punished himself. So he can't never say I punished him. He punished himself. Because he had the choice to choose what was his punishment going to be. And we sat and talked about it. Needless to say now, his punishment was already in my mind what I wanted. I just had to wait till he come across the point of telling me what I wanted. And then that's what he got. But he came up with the conclusion. Only thing I just wanted is, okay, yeah, I like that. Because that's exactly what I wanted. But you're the one that made it up. You're the one that chose. Hold on a second. Hello, hello, hello. How do you do? What can I do for you?
Hey, is
Is this the CCC?
this CC? Okay, I had the policy with the roof mail over with you. So, like, let me see. I'm doing good. How are you doing? This is Jasmine.
Yes, ma'am. Doing pretty good, Jazz.
What's going on?
I'm giving you a call because you remember the Arts Networking event we had back in February?
Yes, ma'am.
You can just press that to pause it because it's going, and then when it starts back,
Mm-hmm.
So if you're available, we have a meeting on June 23rd.
Milwaukee, period. I go to a lot of meetings because it's interesting to see what other people are doing. And I like to watch. I really like watching, you know.
Is that how you got like a lot of your community leadership?
Huh?
Is that how you got a lot of your community leadership roles?
I have no community leadership. No. I am not a community leader. No, by no means, shape, or form. Nada. No, sir. Impossible. Oh, God. No, I'm not a community leader. I might be a community liaison, but a community leader is a neighbor next door standing up with the neighbor next door standing up with the neighbor next door standing up. Ain't no leader. We're all one unit. You know. So, no, only thing I am is just a liaison. Just like I am in life. I'm a makeup of everybody I've met. Everybody I've encountered. And so is my neighbors. So, I can't be a leader of something that someone else is leading. And they can't be a leader because they're following somebody else. You know? So ain't no natural leaders. It's just a bunch of followers. It's just that we make up our own, supposedly, we make up out of what we have learned and what we have seen and what we have encountered, make up our own floor mat that falls in parallel to what is around us to help us all as a unit. You know, so, you know, every one that's out in my block are leaders. You know, it's just that maybe someone stands up at this point in time and someone stands up at another point in time. But it's just covering each other's back. You know, and I might seem like I'm out there a little bit more than anybody else. It's because I'm a streetwalker, not a hooker. Well, maybe I am a hooker, but my Johns are clean up your Johns and get them off the street. You know, but yeah, I guess I'm a hoe. You know, just like in the neighborhood. Okay, all right. We're all hoes. Ho, 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 ho. Good for Christmas stuff. Yes, indeed. Yes, you know. That's a whole different story in another book, you know.
So you described your neighborhood very well, and so we'd like to get a sense of your own home and your house. Can you describe the place you call home?
Well, I guess I can go with an old saying that was way back when, and that was, "My house is a very, very, very special house with 2 dogs in the yard and a cat that runs around." Yeah, that's my house. And me inside acting a clown. My house is a very special house. Okay. I guess you don't want that, huh?
What's your favorite place in the house?
What's my favorite place in the house? I guess. Oh, wow, that's a toss-up. Kitchen and bedroom. Yeah, I guess it would be my favorite place in the house. Kitchen and bedroom. Yeah. Food and food.
Food and food?
Yeah.
So do you cook a lot in your house? Or?
Do I cook a lot in my house? Anytime I cook a lot. I don't know how to cook small. I cook a lot. And when I get through cooking, I have to freeze it so I can have it for the next month. But if I cook a lot and freeze a lot, then I can pull stuff out that's about a week ago I cooked, or 2 weeks ago, and I can have that, and it's just like it's fresh because it's cooked a lot time ago. Yeah.
So if I was to walk in your kitchen, what kind of smells would I be smelling from you cooking a lot?
If you was to walk into my kitchen, what'd you be doing walking in my kitchen?
Because I was invited.
Who said you was invited in my kitchen?
Because Mr. Carmickle was a gentleman.
Huh?
Because Mr. Carmickle was a gentleman.
I might be a gentleman, don't mean I invited you to my kitchen. You know, hey, shoot, I could count on my hand how many people I invited to my kitchen. Well, okay, maybe I have to use 2 hands, but I ain't gonna use all my fingers. And that's in 3 years that I've been in my house. I don't even allow my dog in the kitchen. Neither one of them. You know. So why would I have you in my kitchen? They live with me. And I don't allow them in my kitchen. What are you doing in my kitchen? Or are you just anticipating you going into my kitchen? Or was it an anticipation? It was not real? It was an anticipation, it wasn't real, then what do you want to bring it up for? But it just so happened that you had the opportunity to enlighten and lay foot on my kitchen floor. The range of food runs from one end of the spectrum to the other. You know, and very little pork. There's enough pork in our government so I don't have to eat any. Well, I do eat a little bit. I ain't eating pig though. I'm not eating no feet. No pig feet. No! You know, well, now you people do that. But anyway, or tripe. I don't eat tripe either. Okay, I lie. All right. Pickle pig feet, I'll get me every now and then. Okay, all right. I do eat some tripe and some greens. Okay, never mind. But don't eat it often. But I don't know. It's no telling. I could be baking. I could be designing a new design I create in my kitchen. You know. I love cooking. I love eating. You know, that's probably why I love cooking. And I have a chef degree, equal to a chef degree. So I like cooking. So at any given point in time, no telling what you would smell in my house. You know, at any given point in time. You know. So, orange Peking ham with orange glazed sauce with candy glazed apple. You know, sweet potato, French apple pie. A pinwheel roll. Cheese and sausage fillet baked and designed with a little ginger. So you never can tell what's going to be cooking in my house, but whatever will be cooked in my house will be cooked with love, generosity, and respect.
Do you consider Washington Park home or Louisiana home?
I consider wherever I leave my head home. Been around the world, and I call a lot of places home. Wherever I'm at home. And it don't take me long to be at home. If I go to Jamaica, I'm at home. If I go to Africa, I'm at home. You know, no matter where I go, I'm at home. Because no matter where I'm at, that is my home. And it's who you are that makes it what it is, not what it is to make you who you are. So, my home is me. Not what you wanted.
So you alluded to earlier that you served in Vietnam. Can we get more?
A lot of people did. Why?
No, we'd like to know more about your service.
You'd like to know more about the service?
About your service in Vietnam.
Oh, you like to know more about my service. You don't want to join and find out your own stuff, do you? You don't want to be shot at either? You know? Yeah, well, you know, you're going for a cheap way to get the experience. You know, well, in 1964, you weren't even allowed to vote yet nationally. And I'm killing people for a country. They won't even allow me to vote. It was on the agenda that they're going to vote to see if we can vote nationally. We won. Then we have to get vote again. They have to go back again to vote to make sure we can keep voting. Do you know that? You think your voting rights just came easy. You know, a lot of people died for that voting right. A lot of people died. And you still didn't get it. They played with it, but you didn't get it. They programmed you not to vote. But anyway, the military at that time was pro-white. My name is Carmickle, 1964 Stogie Carmickle, burned whites down. Why did one of my relatives do that? I have no idea. But who paid for it? Uncle Sam, Carmickle. He burning Watts down. So while he was burning Watts, they were burning my ass. You know, they couldn't get Stogie, but they got another Carmickle. So it was miserable. But like anything else, it's America. And they couldn't do or show me anything they hadn't already done and shown me in the South. So I had one up on them already. I knew where they was coming from, but yet they did not know where I was coming from. So I did my 4 years, got out. They didn't want me. And after I survived 4 years, I didn't want them. And if you expect me to get into depth about the air, nah. It's past tense. And things that you just don't want to stir up. And thoughts you don't want to throw up. But it was an interesting part of my life.
Thank you for your service.
Huh?
Thank you for your service.
I'm getting paid for it. They're taking care of me in the health. You know, I'll go to the VA and get health care done. You know, but you're welcome. You know, if you really want to think, we got about $75. You know, if I get $75 from everybody in the United States for serving in the service, I'll go back and do it again. You know, all you gotta do is throw another team on top of it. You're welcome. Thank you for your service. And you don't even realize you're in it.
So we heard that you have a public radio. You were involved in public radio.
Yeah, internet. Yes.
Can you tell us more about that?
What do you want to know about it?
Like some of the topics you talk on there.
Oh, God. My show is called Life. It's spontaneously. That's the topic. It's spontaneous. It's life, it's a roar, it's life, it's a time, life right then and there. There is no other lines. When you walk through the door, you sit there on the floor, and you open up the mic and you let it flow. Whatever comes out of my mouth, that's the way it goes. Whatever comes by that video screen as you walk past the window, which faces the street, that's life passing you by. That's part of my show, because that's what life is. But we talk about things in the future, we talk about things in the past, we talk about things that are up, we talk about things that are down. We talk about things that we want to do, we talk about things that might be done. We talk about things just for fun. We talk about the way man should be, or the way man was. We talk about the disrespect to the female world, and do it all in love. We talk about our children so young, but yet so old. They never have a childhood for them to truthfully grow. So life just flows. Life just talks. Life is whatever it is that night. You know, the other night I had a good night. It was all really done and fun. I had 3 beautiful young ladies on my stage. And we had it all going on. One was 9, one was 10, one was 4. And all 3 of them ladies closed out my show. And I mean, they had to flow. But that's life. And that's what life does. You know? So, if you really want to know what life is all about, you're welcome to come on my show. You're welcome to be a part of it. And then you'll know. Because then, truthfully, you truthfully would have a reaction to the show. Because at that one point in time, you stand on the floor. You know. But yeah, I do a radio show called Life. I helped start another radio show called Epicurean. And Epicurean is the art of life, which is a gentleman that I introduced him to the radio show, and so he decided he wanted to use the same name. And then I helped start another show called Welcome to Reality. in another show called Roosevelt Show. Give the people an opportunity to express themselves, and they're doing a very good job of it. Now, there's a couple more hours left on the board. You can do your own show. I suggest it. It'll open up you more. You know, because you're a closed, tight little young man. What? Expect more?
Well, thank you for that.
Huh?
Thank you for that.
Yeah. But, you know, sometimes it depends on what my show goes. See, I've traveled an interesting life. I've traveled an interesting life. I was with a team of people. We split the atom and found the cork, which at that point in time was the smallest part of an atom that had been found. I did that at Fermi National Accelerator Laboratory. I worked on proton radiography, and I worked on bump magnets. And I helped keep the atom together and not burn up by the time it got to the target for it to be videoed and steady. I studied law for 5 years. I was a deputy sheriff, first black deputy sheriff in an all-Republican, lily white suburbanite. So, promoted music and had some people that I worked with, Chaka Khan, Tower of Power, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Marvin Gaye, Big Twist and the Mellow Fellows, Deluxury, interesting people, Shadows of the Night, Gloria. You know, I used to run with them, party with them, Safer Robbery. So when it comes to walk of life, when it comes to life, I walked it. I've lived a life for 10 men, and I lived it fully, you know. And in the process of living a life for 10 men, it's 10 different angles, 10 different flows, but 10 different flavors. And all 10 were delightful. Yes. So.
Thank you for that. I'm going to turn it over to Moran if she has any other questions too.
I just have one last question. It's mainly for Nicole, who's a PhD student, because I think you answered like a lot of the stuff we were looking for, and you answered like more further than what we were looking for. I think just like listening to the things in life that impacted you, I think it's all really interesting. But this question is for her dissertation. She's working on with her PhD studies. She just wants to know how high incarceration rates have impacted your neighborhood.
How what?
Oh, incarceration rates have impacted the neighborhood that you live in. So, like, how have you seen the impact?
Well, impact my neighborhood, incarceration room. Really boiled down. Wow, when it boils down to it, gee. Wow. Incarceration. Let me look down my block. Okay. I'm still walking down my block.
Okay, take it down.
Yeah, I have to. You know, I'm trying to remember all my neighbors and see how incarcerated they've been. You know. Yeah, okay. Well, I think in the interim, good possibility the kids down at the end of my alley have been incarcerated. Well, I know some of the ones that hang around have been incarcerated. But I don't know if they've been incarcerated, if they live in my neighborhood, because that house has so many different perspectives of young bloods. But Anyway, the only one I could think of that's been incarcerated in my neighborhood that I know for sure that's been incarcerated in my neighborhood and probably changed my neighborhood a little bit is me. I'm the only one in my neighborhood probably been incarcerated. You know. So the input on that, how it input his neighborhood. By me being incarcerated, I sure in the heck don't want nobody else to be incarcerated, so I'm always trying to stop them from being incarcerated because they really don't want to get incarcerated because if they get incarcerated like I got incarcerated, it wasn't fun. This place up here, man, you got, I know, don't get incarcerated outside the suburbs up north. Whether you go up north, when you start going around the Hodad area, you know, you ever heard of the Hodad? Oh, Random, what do you call it? Random Lake, Random. Oh, they got something up there they call the Hodad. I'll talk about that somewhere else along the line. It's like an artesian, I presume. You know, they don't exist. Artesians, they make the beer. Yeah. But I was caught up there for DWB, and they arrested me. Interim, I spent a week in jail. The most miserablest week that I have ever spent. You guys around here don't play. I mean, I started in Cook County Jail. I guess it's a Cook County Jail, but it was a jail there downtown, Sheriff Department Jail. I went to that, then I went to their jail downtown. Then I went to, looked like an imprisonment, but county jail place. I spent some days there, then I left there, and they sent me to another jail. Man, in 1 week I ended up in 3 jails, and I ain't gonna tell you, every penny I had in my pocket, they took that money. Well, we have to charge you for going to see the nurse. I don't want to see the nurse. Leave that nurse alone. I don't want nothing to do with that. You got to go see the nurse because you're here. Oh yeah, we charge you for going to see the nurse. What are you charging me for going to see the nurse? You the one that arrested me. I ain't asked to come. I don't want to go see your nurse. So you gonna make me go? Yep, and you gonna pay the money too. I ain't paying. By the time I got out, they gave me a check that said 0. I walked in there with $100 and some in my pocket, knowing I had money. I ain't even have money to take a taxi cab to get the heck out of Dodge. They left me way up in the boonies. Opened the door. I walked out, and it was like, it was so far back up in the boonies, they had to pipe sunlight in and moonshine out. I mean, when I got finally, the bus driver looked at you like he's gonna have a wreck. What are you doing in this neighborhood? Oh, that's right, the county jail's over here. They got one. Okay. But anyway, your incarceration I'm pretty sure has done a big factor on even my neighborhood. Lately we don't have too much police problem on my block or anything with that neighborhood. That ceased to exist now. Not quite bad, quite good. I have some young bloods over on the next street over. They're ready to go. They're probably going to end up in jail. Quite a few of them, they have ended up in jail. But I'm working with them. I'm trying to get them to get their head together. At least they're gangbangers. They know they're gangbangers. They live to be gangbangers. They're proud to be gangbangers. But at least when I come by, they give me my props. Maximum props. So that's cool with me. I mean, they do their gang banging, they do their dealing, but they stay off of my block. They used to be on my block. Now they don't get on my block and sell their drugs. They keep it clean. And so they give me my acknowledgments that we stay off your block. Oh, cool, cool. And I give them that knowledge of, you out here slinging drugs. And you're doing a pretty good deal at it. Can you imagine something? Just imagine this. If you can sling drugs and pull what you're pulling off, you're intelligent enough to open up a business and make a killing. And then, you can still have your gang. And your gang will be all your employees that's underneath you will follow you wherever you want to go. You can build all your cars you want to build. Because you have the mentality to deal in the street and make money. You have a mentality that you can deal on the level if you got out there and did it, and you would make a killing because you already won up on them. They try to hold you down, but intelligently or wise, you have always overdone that. Your instinct have drawn you above it, and you're still able to maintain and pull off a good business, but it's the wrong business. You put that energy into a legit business, you be untouchable. And the tax write-off will be fantastic. They look at me, but they listen. And I had one of them that said, a young guy, and had 26 on his car. And I looked at him and I said to him, why do you have low wheels on that car? Man, it makes me look good. It looks good, don't it? I said, wheels is worth more than the car is. Makes your car look like what it is, a piece of shit. Okay? I said, the only thing that you're doing is you should say to the police department, arrest me, take my car, take my tires to pay for my lawyer. Get off the 22 and get you something that's more comfortable, less knowledgeable, less quieter. He did. I was amazed. He came by, he had a Honda Civic. And I looked at him. He rolled his window, and he rolled his window down. What do you think? I said, I like it. Yeah, I got rid of the 26s. And it's cheaper on gas too. I said, yeah. Put a little bit more money in your pocket, don't it? And you still looking good. I said, looking quiet. Yeah. So it was this kind of, I know he's a drug dealer. I can't help it. That's what he does. That's what he is. But at least he's starting to be a little bit more quieter with it. And I'm always telling them, I can't say what you do is right or wrong, because it's not my judgment. Society says it's wrong. But whatever you do, do it with style, finesse, and grace. Don't put it out in the streets. Keep your business your own business. Even the Kennedys were drug dealers. And that's the President of the United States. They were drug dealers. That's how they made their money. It might have been alcohol, but it still was drug. It was illegal. And they cleaned up on it. Our country is built off of illegal people because we're given the unwanted people. Matter of fact, that was before the unwanted came out. That was after we got the Statue of Liberty that we asked for the unwanted people and all that. And the only reason we did that was that right after slavery was abolished, they figured that the slave had all the power because they knew how to repair things that the whites didn't do. So they were capable. And now you got millions of workers looking for work that are trade people They had been taught how to do this and had them to do it for free. Now they're looking for money. That's when the union started in England. And they started so that the blacks could not get jobs. See, some manipulation. That's how the union started, although the union now is mostly controlled by blacks. But it was actually started to stop blacks from getting jobs. So we have established our own precedents, but you can't judge a person for what he does because this country is made up of we bully. We are one of the biggest bully in the world is the United States. And we are the best country though, trust me. But we still are the bully. But go back to the neighborhoods, you know, you can only change one at a time. And that one would change somebody else. You know, I always say that when God died on the cross for your sins, it was meant for you to change yourself and look in yourself, not nobody else. You wasn't supposed to be going out there and chasing somebody else down and saying, yo, you're sinful. You need to change. No, you wasn't supposed to be going to do that. You know, it was meant for you to change who you are. And in the process of changing who you are, you change the world. Because once you change your world, everything around you would change to that karma. So you actually change the world. That's what it meant. Not you chase somebody down and try to hog tie them and say, yeah, religion, give me my $5. Okay, that was just for the Joneses. Now I want $10 for the church. Okay, that's for the church. Now I want $15 for the minister. He's got to get down to Louisiana for a grand meeting with all the people. You know, he needs this Mercedes-Benz to be fueled up. He need their money to be clean. You know. Okay, complain about that. You ain't got no electricity, ain't my problem. Pray to God, it'll be better. Anyway, so I don't know where I went. I don't know where I gone. I can't remember the answer you asked me, but that's the way I am. I get lost sometime in the forest. So.
Thank you. Definitely appreciate you taking out the time to be with us and be able to offer your words of wisdom about this neighborhood and your experiences in the neighborhood and your whole.
You just offered me words of wisdom? You ain't offering me no money?
I'm gonna give you 75, actually.
Huh?
I'm gonna give you the 75.
You gonna give me the $70?
The 75.
$75? Oh, you are sweet. You are sweet. You ain't got 75 cents in your pocket. But I love the idea, though. No, I love Fred.
Thank you, Mr. Carmickle.
It's my pleasure, my man. I hope whatever came out of it is usable.
Yeah, you got a lot of good insights. Like I just like listening to you talk.